So many people had their hot takes and overreactions after Marvin Harrison struggles in his first ever NFL game. All of those takes were complete overreactions and absolute clickbait. Welcome into Ballboy NFL. Let's talk ball. Marvin Harrison Jr. struggled in his first ever game in the NFL as he had one catch for 4 yards on just 3 targets in the Cardinals' loss to the Buffalo Bills. 34-28. It was tough. It was tough to watch for, I think, everyone involved, and then the overreaction started happening. He had a top speed of 16.7 miles per hour, which I'm sure everyone saw. There were a million tweets about it all over Twitter. Many people were laughing about him, and guess what? Everyone ended up calling him a bust immediately. There was so much negativity about the number 4 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft after just one game. Here are the reasons why. He was perceived as the best wide receiver prospect since Jamar Chase coming out of college. Some would even say since Megatron back many years ago, Calvin Johnson that is. And for those reasons, everyone got nervous, right? You get the first game jitters, you have all these high expectations for him, and he doesn't live up to them. So then naturally, the snowball comes after one game of failure. Also, his dad is a Hall of Fame football player, Marvin Harrison. Many great years for the Indianapolis Colts, and for some reason, past players' sons get all kinds of heat because most times they don't pan out or live up to the expectations that everyone has for them. But the counter to that is that most of them aren't even good in college, but Marvin Harrison was absolutely great during his time at Ohio State. Next issue, he did not compete at the NFL Combine. This was a red flag to some about his athletic ability, which could potentially cap his ceiling. It also brought into question his competitiveness, which, as most reasonable people know, is really just a terrible take. That has nothing to do with him at all as a player, but again, the overreactions continue. Everyone wants to be critical because they don't want their team to make a mistake drafting a player, and again, sometimes it's good to see guys fail. Some people feel that way. And then, of course, the snowball continued when Hard Knocks came out, and Malik Neighbors was on the screen a ton. There were rumors multiple teams liked Malik Neighbors more than Marvin Harrison Jr., which is funny because none of them had a chance to draft both of them and make that decision at all. So that all contributed to where we're at now, where Marvin Harrison has all this attention on him, all these expectations for game number 1, and he was unable to deliver. I think all 4 of those things contributed to the negative comments following his week 1 loss. But guess what? It didn't last. Fast forward to this past Sunday. He posts 4 catches for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns on 8 targets against the Rams. In what was truly a dominating performance to start that game, there was no question the Cardinals wanted to give Marvin Harrison the football immediately in that game. After the week of criticism, Kyler Murray targeted him often and down the field where he can be extremely effective. His last catch was with 3 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first quarter. It was a complete blowout. The guy took over the game immediately. He helped the Cardinals essentially in this game in the first quarter. Oh, and for everyone with their speed takes, he reached 20 miles per hour in this game, putting those concerns to absolute rest. So who is Marvin Harrison? Why does this matter? Well, this guy was a generational prospect, is a generational prospect. At Ohio State, he posted back-to-back 1,200-yard and 14 touchdown seasons. During his time there was no doubt who the top wide receiver in his class was. He did that with 2 different quarterbacks as well, as he was able to adapt to the offensive circumstances he was dealt with during his time as a Buckeye. He's your prototypical X-wide receiver that teams are looking for. With a 6'3", 210-pound frame, he can play all over the field though. His route running, his speed, his agility, he can line up in the slot and be effective while also moving outside and winning there just as well. That makes him different. There are guys in the NFL that can only play outside or can only play in the slot. He's got everything you need to do both. There's nothing this guy can't do. When you look at the best wide receivers in the league, he fits the mold of a true alpha, which he showed in the second game of his career. Moving forward, he gets to continue to work with Kyler Murray, who is playing at a very high level to start the season and looks completely healthy after returning from his ACL injury at the end of the last year. And the offensive environment should lead to many more types of these huge blow-up games for him. Plus, he might actually get to play into the second half a little bit more as these games progress. Don't overthink this. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a really, really good NFL player, potentially a top 5 wide receiver after this season. Join the Ball Boy community. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe at all of our different social media accounts. And don't forget to continue to think about talking ball. Thanks for listening.